I am so excited. I am headed to Bandon Dunes on the Oregon coast for a couple of days of golf. But before that, I'm headed to Ashland to see my good friends Stephen and Jim, have lunch with them. They're there for the Shakespeare Festival. But I'm just going to have lunch there and then head on over to the coast. Might be raining for golf, hopefully not. I expect to get some good footage. Hopefully you'll be seeing it. Have a good one.
I left Bend on a Thursday morning for Ashland, Oregon to have lunch with my friends Jim, Stephen, and Jim. After leaving US 97, I traveled down the Rogue River Valley on Oregon 230 and 62 to the I-5. I left early enough so I was able to enjoy a nice hike to see the Rogue River Gorge and Falls. From Ashland, I drove to Bandon for a couple of days of golf. On Sunday morning, I returned to Bend via Oregon 138 through the North Umpqua River Valley.
Well, I'm headed off the 97 now. I don't think I've ever been down this road before. I don't remember how Louie and I went to Crater Lake when we went there. But I know we spent the night in Bend and then went to Crater Lake, so we might have been on this road. We'll see. I'm going to go down looks like I'm going to see the Rogue River. So, see ya.
About 45 minutes after I exited US 97 and turned west, I saw a sign for the Rogue River Gorge viewpoint. Since I was running ahead of schedule, I decided to pull over and check it out. It was a good decision. The gorge is really beautiful. The Rogue River flows about 215 miles in a generally westward direction from the Cascade Range to the Pacific Ocean. Known for its salmon run, whitewater rafting, and rugged scenery, it was one of the original 8 rivers named in the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act of 1968. Beginning near Crater Lake, the river flows through the Cascades to the Pacific Ocean. The only dinosaur fragments ever discovered in Oregon were found near the mouth of the Rogue, about 35 miles north of the California border. The gorge was formed by the river carving through layers of pumice. The most recent layers are from the volcanic explosion that formed Crater Lake about 7,000 years ago. The gorge was likely formed from the collapse of lava tubes and the force of the river as it followed fractures between the layers of lava. As you can see, the interpretive trail along this portion of the gorge is an easy stroll. I got to Ashland well before my lunch with my friends, so I had time to use the free City of Ashland Level 2 chargers while I strolled around town. After lunch, I headed to Bandon.
Hey guys, I'm here in Canyonville at the Seven Feathers Resort charging up before I head over to Bandon. It was great seeing you guys for lunch. I really appreciate you taking the time to see me.
I remember Seven Feathers from our first Alaska trip in 2017. We stayed 2 nights in their lovely RV park. Unfortunately, it was very smoky then from the Eagle Creek fire in the Columbia River Gorge.
Well, I made it to Bandon. Here's the marina behind me. And it is a gray and chilly day. Not surprising. It's the Oregon coast.
Bandon, Oregon is located on the coast just south of the mouth of the Coquille River. The community was named by George Bennett, an Irish immigrant who settled in the area in 1873 and named the town after his hometown of Bandon, County Cork in Ireland. Like many communities on the Oregon coast, Bandon had significant fishing and timber industries, which were greatly diminished by the 1980s, though some remnants still exist. Bandon's current economy revolves around wood products, fishing, tourism, and agriculture. Bandon is also a center of cranberry production and has long been known as the cranberry capital of Oregon. More than 100 growers harvest about 1,600 acres around Bandon, raising 95% of Oregon's cranberries and about 5% of the national crop. Bandon Dunes Golf Resort is a complex of 5 links courses and 2 par 3 golf courses just north of the city of Bandon. Bandon Dunes course was the first course, and it opened in 1999. Then Pacific Dunes in 2001, Bandon Trails in 2005, Old McDonald in 2010, then Bandon Preserve, a 13-hole par 3 course, opened in 2012. In 2020, Sheep Ranch was opened, followed by the last course, Shorty's, a 19-hole par 3 course opened in 2024. All courses are walking only, no golf carts allowed. I played Pacific Dunes on Friday, considered the most difficult of the links courses. On Saturday, I played Sheep Ranch, considered the least difficult of the links courses.
That's the number 1 tee right there. That's the ocean. Putting green. Our pit area.
Great shot.
Well, listen up, City Jim. I is a baby.
Good afternoon from the beach at Bandon, Oregon. I am done playing golf, headed home tomorrow morning. I needed a few miles on the car to make it over to Roseburg to fast charging. There's actually no fast charging here in Bandon. So my car is up there at the top of that bluff at a hotel that's got slow charging. So I'll get about 10 miles. That's enough to give me a cushion to make it to Roseburg. And then from there on home to Bend in the morning. It's been a great trip. It is so pretty here that Bandon is definitely golfer's paradise. Just absolutely amazing. Hope to come back. Hope you're having a great weekend. See ya.
After 2 fantastic days of golfing, I left the coast and headed back to Bend early on a Sunday morning. I stopped to charge up just south of Roseburg and then headed east on Oregon 138 through the North Umpqua River Valley. This was a beautiful drive, despite the significant burn areas that were the result of the Archie Creek fire of September 2020. This catastrophic fire swept down the Highway 138 corridor and tore through the North Umpqua watershed. It burned over 131,000 acres and heavily impacted communities like Glide and destroyed over 100 homes, as well as the iconic local business Steamboat Inn.
There we go.
driftwood. Okay, I'm taking a piece of this driftwood. Which piece should I take? It's too much. It's kind of cool though. Got that. I'm taking this. Look at this driftwood. Okay. This is coming. As I was driving, I noticed to my right a bald eagle flying over the river in the same direction as I was driving. I took out my phone and attempted to film him as I was driving. It's difficult to see him through the trees that are between the river and the highway. At one point, I was staying side by side with the bird, and I realized he was going about 35 miles per hour. Fortunately, there was no traffic, so I was able to cruise along to film the eagle. What the fuck is that? Just before the highway leaves the North Umpqua River Valley and enters the Clearwater River Valley, there's a turnoff to the Toketee Falls trailhead. Entering the parking lot for the trailhead, I encountered this strange-looking large pipe. It is actually a redwood stave pipe, which is a historical water pipe built like a giant wooden barrel. It consists of individual beveled timber sections called staves, bound tightly together by metal hoops or steel wires. Once filled, the wood absorbs water, expands, and forms a remarkably durable, watertight seal. Not so watertight now, obviously, but it is over 75 years old. How far is the falls?
Maybe like 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. The pipeline is part of the Toketee development of the North Umpqua Hydroelectric Project. Completed in 1949, this development was the first of the project. The facility begins at a dam about a mile upstream from the falls. The dam forms the 102-acre Toketee Lake, and from there, water runs about 1,500 feet through the wood stave before entering a tunnel to the generators. The water powers 3 turbines that generate enough power for about 22,000 homes. Due to the diversion, only a portion of the river's flow goes over Tokati Falls.
Hello. Hi.
You go first. I'm curious, what camera do you have?
It's a DJI.
Oh, DJI?
Yeah.
Oh, look how smooth that is.
How much further is the falls?
He said it's half a mile, so we're shooting pretty close.
Oh, okay. You must have left the baby carriage.
Yeah, that was ours.
I was like, okay. Somebody
Don't
get.
worry about it, nobody's lost.
The hike to the viewing platform is about a half a mile one way, but the trail is rated more difficult due to the elevation changes. There are 97 total steps up and 125 total steps down. I expect it was quite difficult for that French bulldog. I had such a great time on this trip. Oregon continues to amaze me.